welcome back to my backyard. It's me, Miss C, review video number 2, happening right now. This video is going to specifically be covering the difference between physical change and chemical change. This is a concept that can be super easily confused. So, we're breaking it down, we're dividing into 2 different parts, physical, chemical, the qualities of both, and then I have 2 examples for you as well. So hopefully after this, you are going to nail physical and chemical change on the next weekly assessment. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, the first thing that we're going to talk about is chemical change. Now, chemical change, by definition, requires some sort of reaction to take place where a rearrangement of atoms occur in order to form one or more new chemical substances. So an example would be a combustion reaction. We talked about that in the last video. We start with a carbon molecule and oxygen, and somehow through a reaction we get carbon dioxide and water. Those are 2 completely different substances than what we had in the reactant. So in order for a chemical change to occur, we have to have a brand new chemical substance being formed. Alright, so the super cool thing about chemical changes is that we actually have signs or things that occur during the reaction that can tell us that a chemical change is occurring. So one sign is a change in temperature. So if a substance is getting hotter or colder, that obviously is an indication that a reaction is occurring chemically and we have a new formation of substances. Another example would be a formation of a precipitate, and a precipitate can come from 2 liquids or a liquid and a gas, and that reaction to form a solid would be an example of a chemical change. An example of that was the lime water video that you all watched, where we had lime water reacting with carbon dioxide to form the solid at the bottom, that white cloudy substance. Another example is a change in color. So obviously if something goes from clear to purple, something's occurring there and we have a new formation of a substance. Another example is that light is given off. So a lot of the times that is an example of fire. Fireworks is another example. There's tons of cool organic chemistry reactions that occur where light is given off to indicate that the reaction is occurring. And last but not least, we have the formation of a gas. So the formation of a gas, obviously, there would be bubbling, there would be some sort of evaporation occurring that you would be able to see while the reaction is occurring. There's some really cool stuff that hopefully you're going to be able to see in the next video. Another quality of chemical changes is most of the time it is extremely difficult to reverse. So, an example I have here, I have a candle. It smells lovely. I just lit it and blew it out. So, when I light this candle, I have this fire, which is producing a gas as it reacts with the wick of the candle and the wax. So, I have a formation of light, I have a formation of a gas, and I also have a change in temperature. Those are 3 signs of a chemical reaction when I light this candle. I also know that it's a chemical reaction because it's pretty difficult to reverse the burning of a candle wick. You obviously can if you have some really cool, fancy chemical machinery, but I can't reverse this process in my home. It's very difficult to take something burned and reverse it. So that is an example of a chemical reaction. Hooray! I changed locations because I was baking. So we're in the shade now, sort of. So let's talk about physical change. Now, physical change, a lot of people confuse with a change in appearance. And now, that does happen with physical changes a lot of the time, but we also just saw with chemical changes that a change in appearance can also happen. If we have a change in color, or if we have a formation of light, those are also changes in appearance. So we can't just use that to understand physical change. So by definition, a physical change is basically the opposite of a chemical change. We have no formation of a new substance that is formed from the rearrangement of atoms. We have none of that. All the molecules are the same. We have a change in shape that can occur, we have a change in size that can occur, and then we also have a change in the state of matter, so going from a gas to a liquid or a liquid to a solid. Those are all considered physical changes. So another quality of physical changes is most of the time it's super easy to reverse the reaction that's occurring. So in here, I already mixed some sugar with some water. So you should recognize this problem from your homework assignment, okay? I technically already mixed the sugar in the water because I spilled it outside, and then my mother got angry at me because she said the ants were going to come, so I had to do it inside. Anyway, so I have this sugar mixed with water here, and a lot of you said that this was a chemical change occurring, which is totally understandable because you have sugar and now it's disappeared in this water. However, the difference about this specific situation is the sugar is technically not interacting with the water at all. It's dissolved in there and it obviously tastes a little sweeter. I have sugar and water. However, if I were to boil this, I would have the water evaporate and then I would have the sugar left over. The reason I know that this is not a chemical change is because I do not have a new chemical substance. I do not have a rearrangement of water and sugar in order to form a new substance. I just have water plus sugar, and that's how I know. I was going to take a sip, but I just realized I don't like sugar water. Alright. So that concludes review video number 2, all about physical and chemical changes. Hopefully you understand them a little bit better, because the next video, it's your turn to decide whether something is a chemical or physical change. So I'm going to do some cool experiments in my backyard, and you're going to have to see whether or not you can decipher if it's a chemical change or a physical change, and give me evidence and reasoning as to why you are claiming that. So, look below for my example with the sugar water, and then stay tuned for the next video. Woo!